I'm optimistic.
My most important encounter was when I went out to get my champagne. I was talking to the guy in the store, of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, why I was getting the champagne. And I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well, it's very, very close. And I said, no, it's not. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard. Reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa. And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now, the numbers are there. She's taking this election. And then I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right? And I didn't care. And I walked out with my bottle of champagne and happily walked. There is one fundamental thing that you cannot account for when you're using data to predict or project the outcome of an election, is you can't factor in the impact of racism or the existence of racism and misogyny.
Hey there. How are you doing? If you watch this show regularly, I'm guessing you're not doing great. Yeah, me neither. You know, today, some people said to me, sorry you have to do a show tonight, which is nice of them to say, but I don't have to do a show. I get to do a show tonight. I'm so grateful to be with all of these talented people. Those people over here, those people that you'll never see, with the audience and the Ed Sullivan, with you people at home, because especially at times like this, what do we most want to be? Not alone. So thanks for being here. We're going to do a comedy show. It's a comedy show. We're going to do some jokes in just a minute, because that's what we do. And I'll let you in on a little secret. No one gets into this business because everything in their life worked out great. So we're built for rough roads. You guys ready? We cool? Okay. You're
listening. Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATB with Christian, Erik, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time. Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters, the show that if it were powered by liberal tears and progressive rage, it would be on the surface of the moon today. I'm Christian Blatt. Erik Zane, as we say in the business, is on assignment. I'll let Chad's missing upper lip super chat us with whatever he thinks that assignment might be. So we're here today because I need to record next week's show early, and I need to switch out one Erik for another. Welcome back to the show from It's Erik Nagel. It's Erik Nagel. Erik, thank you for being here, sir.
There we go. Hi, Christian. How are you?
Doing
I had
great.
the cough button on. Sorry.
Also, you may recognize him from clips of his interview with Andrew Tate, as long as you watch the clips that he wasn't edited out of. From the Dick Show and Biggest Problem in the Universe, it's the great Dick Masterson. Dick, thank you so much for being here.
What's up, guys? It's a beautiful morning in America. Is Stephen Colbert going to kill himself? Oh, man. Is he going to vaccinate himself to death? That would be great.
I do believe that he's at least priced out tickets to Greenland, as I know you like to say.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see Kimmel crying on TV?
We're all going to see it in a little bit. We've got The View, we've got Kimmel, we've got Seth Meyers. I had to remind myself who Taylor Tomlinson was. There's so much that we have to get to. And I would say this is really the entire episode is really a Who Are These Elections?
Right or left, doesn't matter where you're at. Who Are These Elections will make you want to super chat the big money.
I got to get mileage out of that one while I still can. And obviously, we do invite you to super chat us. This is one of the only shows that we celebrate the poor chat. If you make us laugh, we'll put you up on the screen. But if you really want to get our attention, you guys know the magic words. Streamlabs, Venmo, PayPal, memberships, gifted memberships, and of course, Rumble Rants. And as always, the highest dollar super chat will be
Venmo. Wow, I haven't heard that one on a stream before. Do you have a Cash App too, Christian?
No,
no.
Steel Tote says all those.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if he has Cash App, but he should get one. You know.
He's even got, if you want to come by and drop a book in his borrow a book box, he would like that too.
He's also got one of those take a penny, leave a pennies out in front of his.
Yeah. Does he go to a food bank, do you think? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but do you think he goes to a food bank?
Yeah. I would assume. But
looking for men's cum to eat.
No, you're thinking of Cardiff Electric, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
They're both from Minnesota, so it's easy to mix them up.
He's got to be gay though, with all the stuff that's going on there. There's zero chance that Aaron Imholt has not tasted Nick Rekieta's cum.
Yeah,
right?
and I think Nick's playing it the exact right way, just alluding to it and not actually coming right out and saying it. Thank you. And obviously, as always with this show, you gents might appreciate this. The highest dollar super chat will be my sign off. So if you want to put something into my mouth, I will take it, like Aaron Imholt. And you can try and get me in trouble with my family, my neighborhood, or possibly the incoming administration. Anyway, all of that out of the way. Thank you, gents, for being here. And we didn't have time to chat beforehand. So you'll both have to make me aware, either in the private chat or just speak into your microphone, any kind of time constraints you have. Because there's a lot to look at, Dick and Eric. And I know we want to jump right into it, but Dick, you were supposed to be on our live stream election night, and in the most Dick Masterson explanation, you couldn't work your camera, and then you got too drunk. And
it's I was trying to figure it out because I was on Ralph's show, and I got out of there. I was like, okay, I got to do a Christian show. And I turned yours on, the camera didn't work.
Yeah.
And then I made like the soft quit of like, you know what, I'm just gonna have another drink and then see if I can figure it out later.
I'll get back to it at some point.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, I'm glad that you're,
because I don't want the camera to start working and I don't know it's working. That's like a nightmare situation.
Yeah, who knows what we'd be looking at if that starts with the camera. And Eric, I don't imagine that you stayed up all night like I did doing a stream until I think what ended up being I don't know, like 3 a.m. Eastern time.
Not to do a stream, but yeah, I was up the entire time. I went to bed about like 4:30.
Right.
And they hadn't none of the networks officially called the presidency. I think he had like 266 at that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I went to sleep. I woke up like an hour and a half later, go to the bathroom, and I'm just looking at the phone, and everyone's now all declaring, because Wisconsin, I guess, came in right after I went to bed. And then I started to see immediately after the announcements, the crying, this is racism, this is misogyny, it's like all the excuses were all pre-planned. And by the time I woke up later, almost every celebrity had the same graphic with a list of phone numbers for people to call to prevent suicide. These numbers will not contact police. I sat there and go, wait, it's been like 8 hours. What happened? And then they all had it. Like all these celebrities had the same. It was the same message, but a different graphic background to make it look like they were all being unique. But it was all the same information. I go, they're all killing themselves now. Like that's what was going on. And then like later that day, the next day, suicide numbers are up. And I said, wait, what the fuck is happening here? Because somebody didn't win an election, people are offing themselves.
It's going to be a winter of death for these people.
Well, we could go to the suicide forest, the Greenland forest in Japan.
Well, you can't, as we learned from Logan Paul. It causes a lot of problems.
We won't do it there. By the way, already getting some super chats from Dang Lizard. Maddox lost. Dick is the winner.
Thank you.
I Come Buckets has been edging to Dumb Libs for 2 days straight. We'll be able to finish, because the thing you need to know about I Come Buckets, it's not just a fun nickname. He will indeed come buckets. And Zenny Senpei, Reddit has a lot of people considering going to Greenland. Just scroll through the front page to farm endless butthole. Yeah. And there's a lot of like legitimately sad people. I think that a lot of my focus is going to be on one, assholes, two, people who are angry, because that's always funny. And, I think you'll see a theme there. But, obviously no one's happier than Trump, except for maybe this guy. Look at that big smile on Biden's face yesterday when he went out to talk. He's like, yeah, well, it wasn't so easy to beat him now, was it?
Do you think they juiced him up with enough like brain chemicals so that he's aware of what he did for just a second before slipping back off into limbo?
They gave him chocolate so he would perk up before he went out there.
He does.
It worked, sir. It worked. She got fucking schlonged. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me slip off into Alzheimer's again.
I love the conspiracies. Well, not conspiracies. The theories going around that Biden throughout this whole process was subtly sabotaging her campaign. And these are legit outlets that were listing from the Trump hat when he put that on, to purposely calling his supporters garbage.
Sure.
And then I think even the New York Times had something the day of or the next day of the election saying, why did Jill Biden wear a solid Republican red pantsuit to go out to vote, knowing that cameras were there? And I'm just sitting there, I go, all of it is a stretch, but when you put it all together, you kind of go, maybe, I mean, obviously he's not thinking that, but his wife might be. Some of the people around him.
He might be.
That might.
Man, how would you like to be replaced by like your cackling woman subordinate? That would be a nightmare.
Of course. But I mean, there's still, I'm sure there's a couple of advisors or close confidants around him that are also pissed that they're being pushed out because of this. Did they do a long con with all of this to have him get to this point? And then it's like, wow, he was really helping, saying, fuck her, subtly, quietly behind the scenes. He barely went to anything.
Yeah.
He needed some support to. I guess he went to one or two when he absolutely had to. He stated the morning of election day that he will not be attending a watch party nor a victory party if she did one. Like that was all the headlines before like the voting was even close.
He probably would have won. He probably would have beat Trump, right?
He would have been way closer.
He would have been closer.
Yeah.
Latino men would have not rejected this old smiling white guy like they did a bunch of twerking black women. As a Latino man, I can fucking promise you that.
You're Latino? I just thought
yes.
In California, you tanned well.
Yeah,
I'm half Mexican.
I don't want to give too much away, but Dick Masterson might not be his real name. But but in terms of Joe's looking at
we did it. We saved America. You're welcome, you white men. You couldn't show up, but we did.
I think Biden looking at the prospect of her replacing him would be like, Dick, if you got a text from Vito, like, Rogan's stepping down and I'm taking over the Joe Rogan experience. I'm the host now.
Dude,
without you ever being considered.
They just like pushed him to the side like trash. I think that sort of like rudeness and backstab and treachery would transcend politics for anybody, especially Biden, because he's such a piece of shit every time he talks. Like he's so aggressive and angry all the time. I can't see him wanting Kamala to win at all.
No. I'm sure he's got this big smile that we have on here. And before we dive into clips, I do want to say that if somehow Kamala Harris had won, we would still be doing the same show. I just would be pulling clips from a lot of other places. You'd have Megyn Kelly, Ben Shapiro, Benny Johnson, and Nick Fuentes would have been great today.
A lot of Morning Joe clips would you have?
You'd have me on there.
We have them now. And I don't know how much time I'd have to spend on Jesse Waters. Just imagine what that episode of Gutfeld would have been like. But that's not what we have. So I'd like to step a little bit back in the machine to election night. There's a shorter version of this clip going around, and I think it does a disservice because the full version of the clip is actually funnier. This is Jake Tapper on CNN with John.
You had that,
yeah. So this is him with. I wanted to call him John Roberts, but that's not that guy's name because he's a Supreme Court justice.
It doesn't matter. Every network had the same fucking mental case that is all into statistics and numbers that can't stop touching the television. Even when they pull away, like, you know how the studios are so big now, it's not just static shots. They'll swing the camera around, right?
Yeah.
And as they swing it over here, and it happens like when they move over to Lester Holt on NBC or Jake Tapper on CNN. The guy in the background is constantly touching the TV, resetting everything. He can't stop fidgeting with the fucking television.
Clearly, somebody watched Wheel of Fortune and thought, you know what's missing is a jib. Let's make sure we really get in there.
That might even be better to have an attractive woman keep walking over to the television, hit the next button, and then walk off to the side.
Now you're talking. So John King is the guy who does the board for CNN. And Jake Tapper, I know him a little bit. He's actually a pretty good guy, despite the fact that he roots for Philadelphia sports teams. He is from Pennsylvania. So this is him doing the math as John King brings up. Well, let's take a look at the counties.
Back to the places where Donald Trump is overperforming. Are there any places where Kamala Harris overperformed from where Biden did?
Let's see that, John. Can you show us those,
just put a button on what Pam was just talking about in the sense that, so there's votes out there. Maybe Kamala Harris comes back, and that's close.
He's up by 11,000.
So
I know you asked me a
she
question. Let me
comes
finish
back,
my
but again,
stats.
you're talking about the margins, right? He's winning by 4. right? If she comes back and beats him, it's going to be 50-50, 51 right there. Again, underperforming, underperforming the president.
So now let's get to what I asked
Are there
you
any
for.
places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we can show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one?
Okay, so a lot of people stop the clip here. It's great. He's like, literally nothing. So this is not outperforming by more than 3%. But there's a little bit more, and I think it's actually funnier than a blank map.
County?
By 3% or more. At least in the county right now.
Let's
So
look
you
under
come in the
3% now.
You come in full county there. So there you see, but that's
Is he
states.
doing
so
a
in
bit?
counties, in 58 counties. We just showed Donald Trump was over 1,000 counties of the 4,600 counties and townships across America. So if you do the full county level, there's where you see Harris at the moment. Again, there might be more out here on the West Coast. It's possible one or two more as they.
So I look, a blank map is funny, but to me this is funnier. It's like the Yankees getting swept in the World Series would have been funny, but then a complete meltdown in the 5th inning when they were up 5-0. That's way funnier. That's what this is. This is the 5th inning of Game 5 of the World Series.
I thought it was funny that he goes, "We'll just have to wait for the window to go away on its own." Like he couldn't touch the thing to slide it over to the side. He's like, "Let's just let it do what it does." And then the big dramatic reveal, like, the East Coast didn't like her either.
So this is.
Do you think he goes home and his family's like, "Hey, Dad, that was hilarious when you brought up the empty map"?
And he goes,
like,
"Wait,
what are you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly.
I think you guys nailed it. So this is the same moment, almost the exact same moment over on CBS. Major Garrett is working the board there.
Major, what battleground state looks good for Kamala Harris tonight?
Yeah.
Rubs his hands.
I know, you're thinking through them.
No, there is no really good answer for that right now.
I love that she's like, "Oh, you're trying to come up with an answer." No,
no,
it's nothing.
You know what else he did? He pulled that trick that field correspondents do where they blame the delay. So like when the main anchor asks a question, they don't know really what to start off with. So they sit there and go, like there's such a delay. He's 20 feet to the left of her.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's doing this like, all right, come on, get to the end of the feed so I can answer the question.
Nobody has a cell phone anymore.
It's like how my friend Tukey goes, Yeah, it's basically the newscaster equivalent of it. All right, if we're looking at the news and we're looking at this moment of doing the math in Pennsylvania, I'm sure that everybody here in the live chat, Eric, Dick, all of us, well, how did Rachel Maddow handle this?
NBC News has a projection to make in the presidential contest in the swing state of Pennsylvania. And
I'm sorry, before we even get to it, I think we need to watch how many times she blinks her eyes because she cannot believe what she's reading on the teleprompter.
Or her face pulled back so tight.
We'll get to Eric.
She's doing no in Morse code. No.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
NBC News has a projection to make in the presidential contest in the swing state of Pennsylvania. NBC News now projects that presidential contest has been won by Donald Trump.
So there's more to this clip, but do you notice she's doing the reality TV thing? And what it looks like is that the tribe has spoken and the votes have been counted. And what we're looking at is the person who's going to go home is Kamala Harris.
Now, I believe that means.
Why do they have this music? Why don't they have sad music? We know they're sad. You know?
I think that the board was pre-programmed with a different outcome in mind, Dick. I don't.
Yeah, probably that again. Yeah.
I don't think that they had send in the clowns or anything like that. It would have been amazing.
266 electoral vote count for Donald Trump.
I can't imagine anybody going to sleep at this point, but I know back east it was really late, and we were gonna do a relatively short live stream, but then we're like, oh shit, he's winning. And then it's like, oh, he's going to speak. So we vamped for a long time and we actually carried his speech, then JD Vance got on the stage and we turned it down. But this is a little bit more of Rachel Maddow, just like, oh, wait, this is what's happening?
Kamala Harris at 194 electoral votes. So
that's less.
To be clear here, this is the third of the 7 major swing states that have been called. But Georgia and North Carolina and Pennsylvania, as those 3 states, presents an almost unless there's a
doesn't know how to
it presents an insurmountable future.
She's having an out-of-body
experience for the Democratic ticket.
Yeah. If we had all day to do this show, I would have all the clips from earlier in the night when they're all having fun and laughing and joking around. And but you know the pain is really what we're here for.
As North Carolina got called, and then Georgia got called, and then later Pennsylvania got called, she's starting to look at her papers and all her researched factoids and quips that were all planned for all of this stuff here. None of her material was matching what was happening in real life, and she's just kind of humming, going around as she's seeing the teleprompter telling her, keep going, explain what happened, and she doesn't want to.
We probably had all these quips for like each state when she got it, to bring it back to the Yankees for a minute. Yankees broadcaster John Sterling, we play a lot on this show. He has nicknames for everybody. So it would have been like, it's a Pennsylvania comeback. She had all these things, and she's like, well, God damn it. None of this is working. By the way, in the chat again, Icon Bucket says, my buddy Eddie voted for Kamala. Roast him, Dick. But for $2, Dick, you don't have to do anything you don't want.
He's a child molester. I mean, I guess. I don't know. He'll be roasting an eternity in hell.
But before too
What's
long.
left for me to do?
So
keep him away from kids.
Well, that's all we can all try to do. So Rachel Maddow's not the only one over there at MSNBC that we like to check in on. Who do you think Joy Reid wanted to blame? And there's a little bit of a long list. Let's see where she starts.
Is she part of the strike? That black women are going on strike. Did you see that?
I did see that.
They don't come to them for no more help. No, never mind now. That's what they said. They said they're going on strike. No more talking loud in the movies. No more eating, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what else they do.
They're not
no more hassling you at TSA.
Emergency mathematics to get astronauts to come back home.
No more astronauts up on the moon. All the black women's on strike. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I do believe that Joy Reid does go on strike after.
I didn't know about this lady until the day of the election with the coverage and the headlines were coming up on Twitter and stuff. Because every time I saw Joy Reid, I kept thinking Joy Behar.
Right.
And I'm like, that
we've got her later.
Now there's 2 of them I got to ignore.
Eric, we should do a bonus episode on Joy Reid sometime and have you back because let me just say the best thing in her history is old tweets of hers were found where perhaps she was disparaging the gay community. And she said that the Wayback Machine got hacked. You know, the Wayback Machine that records images as they appeared on the internet in the past. Someone hacked the Wayback Machine, but she still got a job. Yeah. So here she is this next.
The second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more, party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much more that you can do but tell people what the risks are. And
yes, so people heard our bullshit. And I guess they thought that they weren't buying it. She does go on to blame Generation X at one point.
They didn't want tips on how to live their life from Simon Phoenix? Is that what happened?
Well, I think that anybody who knows Joy shouldn't be surprised that eventually the blame was shifted to the only place it could, the Jews.
And others go in and try to really push Arab and Muslim American voters. Stephen Miller was crowing about it, try to push Arab and Muslim voters in the state of Michigan to go for Trump. The irony of that, of course, is nobody wanted Donald Trump to be president. Nobody wants Donald Trump to be more president more than Bibi Netanyahu, who is backed by a far-right coalition that would like to clear-cut Gaza.
There's a lot more of this. So you can find that clip. You can see I took it off Instagram.
Before I get into her, I love how when they put the swing states at the bottom, it looks like you hit your video game achievements. When you leveled up for something that you didn't know was an achievement, and they're putting that down there for Trump.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's the old video games. It's like, oh, look, he got 99 free lives in Super Mario Brothers. Congratulations.
He's got the Triforce.
Labyrinth Mystic says, "Unite as a country or eat my stink hole for the next 4 years. You choose, America."
And that's
well,
exactly
Labyrinth Mystic,
what
I'd
they
like
said 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, Labyrinth Mystic, I'd like to know a little bit more about your stink hole. Why don't you send us 10 more super chats, and then we can talk about it. Well, before we move over to what they like to call legacy media, I'm sure everybody's wondering, but what did Cenk Winger think over there at the Young Turks?
Kamala Harris, I'm full of joy. Okay, well, what did that get you? And they say, "Oh, Cenk, you're too angry." Too angry?
Fat.
You think, does Donald Trump look like he's kind? Does he look like he's in a good mood? I mean, no, people want
He looks good in an orange vest.
sort of reaction from their politicians. They want them to represent them, to fight for them. But that has never occurred to a Democrat outside.
Did you guys ever think that the word "them" had 8 syllables until right now?
only in Todd Pettengill song parodies.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a nice poll. Oh, if only Todd had some phone scams the morning after the election, we could have all comforted ourselves with.
To Bernie Sanders, and probably we never will. So look, I have no interest in listening to a single Democratic politician ever again.
Well, you have a lot in common
kiss
with
my
the
ass.
American people.
They can do whatever they want, and we never listen to them anyway, and they hate us because we're right and they're wrong.
So don't worry, there won't be
these
anymore.
Democratic leaders
They're going
are the
to
most
prison.
By the way, I didn't realize that they did super chats, and they put some super chats on the screen, but other times, as you can see right there, it just says super chat from someone, $1.99. Thanks. I think some of the super chats just might have not been content that they wanted to put on their stream. They might have been trolling them a little bit. We'll give Cenk one more moment.
useless people on earth. If they're not all fired, the Democratic Party is out of its mind. So as the voters, you have to understand, those guys have a vested interest in protecting their own ass.
Yeah, I believe that's what it means to be a politician.
Well,
so.
he's not wrong. And,
no, he's totally not wrong.
And I found myself in like the last few weeks leading up to this, somehow his stuff started showing up more in my Twitter timeline. And I'm reading the stuff and I go, I don't usually like this guy, but everything he's posting, it's like I'm kind of agreeing with. Like I think I'm not gonna be a fan of this guy.
No,
but he's not wrong either. Everything he's putting out there about the Democratic Party and the way everything's being run through the current administration, you go, okay, yeah. And I'm like, he's really one of the main voices for the left because this seems contrary to the
That's what makes them evil. They know what's right and wrong, and they do the wrong thing anyway. That's why they're evil.
No, what we saw a moment ago, Dick and Eric, is the relief on his face. Like, finally, I can finally stop pretending that I thought that this was a good choice, that this is what they should have done, that they should have had a primary to try and figure it out. I think that he was definitely one of those guys saying to replace Biden in 2022 when maybe they had a chance if they had done that.
To build up. Yeah. I went back and I watched his breakdown or the Turks breakdown from 2016. And keeping in mind that the 2016 went through a lot of people for a surprise because their information was all wrong at that time. All the polling, all the other
Hillary was up by 9 everywhere. Yeah.
Everything was proven to be wrong. And you see him go there. He was mad at the country. He was mad at the Republican voters and all of that stuff. Now, after the chaos of 2020, the way this election went, everything was so overcorrected and over-focused on. There was 1 or 2 incidences where they said, we had an issue with this one computer. It didn't have the lock thing on the back, but there was an independent counsel that had a Democrat, a Republican, an independent. They all signed off, said this was incorrect. They fixed it. Everything
and
went fine.
Just to finish on that, they reran all those ballots. And
right.
Like, all right, it's going to take longer. Let's count them again. Yes.
It was pretty smooth going the entire night. Nobody was contesting things. Everything was going fine. To get to this point where they have the same reaction because now all their information is right. And she never had a chance. And he must have known this ahead of time looking back at his tweets where the others are they probably knew it too and were denying it. and he's going back there. Now he's yelling at his own side and the Democratic Party, not America anymore. He's not screaming at the Republicans. He goes, no, we know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's you fuckers I can't deal with anymore.
Yeah, that thought that you were going to pull a fast one and make this happen. So,
Do you think Cenk like went home and took a shower and then just laid on his bed with all his like fat everywhere, like eating like handfuls of like hummus or something, just watching TV, miserable, you know? He didn't just go to sleep, right? He still exists after the show.
He's laying there like Kingpin from Marvel.
Yeah, miserable, like Ben Stiller at the end of Dodgeball. It's like fucking Dame Pesos, eating
if
chicken.
I had to guess, as soon as he got home, he cashed out his Polymarket account where he made like $10 million having bet on Trump at the point where the buy-in was good. If I had to guess. Look, there's a lot of reasons people are here, but I know that what a lot of you are clamoring for is some talk show reaction.
WATB, who are these talk shows? Who are these talk shows?
And I think that there's no better way to start off this segment than taking a moment to enjoy the view.
So, how you feel? I'll start. My takeaway is that the system works. We live in a democracy.
Listen to Joy making
People
sense for
spoke.
once.
This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation arises that we need to protest, which I'm sure it will. And I've been through this before with Nixon.
Yes, we know you're old.
Nixon.
We can see you. We can see you. We know how old you are. Well, Joy was kind of level-headed, but don't think that it didn't take a long trip down that table before the R word got thrown around. Obviously, racism was the problem.
Surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed-race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
It is ultimately cultural resentment. I think we can all agree that that's what it comes
Fuck you, bitch!
It's almost as though the problem is, what she said is like, oh yeah, America wasn't ready for a mixed race woman with a Jewish husband. And some would say that that's why she didn't pick the governor of Pennsylvania, because it was like, look, you can't put a Jewish VP on this ticket. You already have enough questions. But that's Sunny Hostin right there, who gets herself in trouble with one of her panelists for a term she uses that the left throws around a lot.
Think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms, and why do you think Latino men voted
Latino.
White women?
Did you appreciate the way she said Latino?
Who's twerking now, bitch? Who's twerking now? You can shove that Latino right up your ass.
I hate
Why do
that.
you?
Sorry, go ahead.
And Christian, because you're out in LA, so I'm sure you see it. But here in New York television, the local news and everything, they're talking very eloquent and well educated until they go, and then they go Jose Castilla for NBC Nightly News. They go, why did you do that? Why did you throw the emphasis on the name and then go back to speaking clearly again?
35 years ago, there was an SNL sketch with Jimmy Smits where everybody's overpronouncing that. And, it's all the white people overpronouncing the Spanish terms. And the takeaway from that sketch is instead of calling it a tornado, he's like, a tornado. So it's like, it's been out there for that long. And yes, it's Dick, I don't know how much local news you watch here in LA, but there's a lot of overpronunciation when I do come across anything.
Oh yeah. The racism against Latino men from this election, it's like now I really feel white. It's getting blamed for everything. Ay, Dios mío.
All you ever wanted was just to be treated fairly.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted was ship all these illegal wetbacks back to Mexico. Okay, that's all we've ever wanted for decades. I'm used to white women overpronouncing Mexican stuff, but this is the first time I'm seeing black people doing it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
There is a Latino there on the panel, but that pronunciation isn't what gets her in trouble. It's the term she's.
Why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms, and why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this race.
And I just want to let you guys know, don't worry. After the commercial, they came back and she said, what I meant to say was non-college educated. Not uneducated.
What I meant to say was ignorant ass white women.
What would have been better is that they came back from break, her chair and her are gone, and they just all move a little closer. They just displace the chair, so it looks like she was never there to begin with.
Yeah. Well, Joy thinks that we should take a page out of another country, the country that we should all model ourselves out after, Finland.
Kids in nursery school are learning to discern between fake news and real news. They should be teaching that in this country. Teach children tolerance, teach them to think critically.
No, we're not going to do that.
We could regulate social media because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations
It's
of
not
social
going to get any
media.
better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
Wait a minute. Yes, they have. This current administration is banning TikTok. They were all about getting rid of TikTok. They put that ultimatum on them. And then what happened? Like a month after this whole court case went down, the Biden administration opened up a TikTok account, and Kamala Harris had a TikTok account, and they were putting their stuff on TikTok.
The only reason I think they might not ban TikTok, go ahead and check out Trump's TikTok, see how many followers he has. So, they might try to come to some sort of compromise, but I know what you're saying. They're just like, because Eric, I forget how old your kid is, but my son's 9 and my daughter's 7. I don't know that even at their age, much less the fact that they do it in preschool in Finland, that what they should be talking is, okay, let's talk about fake news versus real news.
Let's talk.
Yeah, their solution to losing an election is government indoctrination of children. Like immediately. You know what we did wrong, ladies, is we didn't indoctrinate kids early enough on our point of view, like they do in Finland.
What were you saying, Eric?
That didn't matter, but I was just saying, like, we were talking about the indoctrination of children with this. It's like, no, at this point in their lives right now, it's like, stop playing with the slime and go back and read your book. They won't read a book. They're just making a mess of everything. They could give a shit about this, and they want their iPad as soon as they get home from school. They don't care about misinformation.
They don't care about any of this.
No.
On Who Are These Socials yesterday, Carl had a video that Carl and Blind Mike, let's shout him out. They had a video that I had seen. It was a mom who filmed herself telling her kids how the election had went. And the kids were upset. I don't know how old they were. It's this whole thing. And I'm like, why did you post this online? Like, we don't see your kids, but we hear how upset they are. Also, how did you raise your kids to be that they're just devastated by this? We talked on election night. We talked about the private school in New York City that long before election day was like, Wednesday will be an optional day. People don't have to come. And I told the story that when I was 10, the Challenger space shuttle exploded. So I
watched it live on TV in school.
We didn't have a TV in our school. It wasn't as fancy as yours. But they came on. They told us it happened.
You didn't have that old rickety AV card?
No.
Christian, that's pretty. What school did you go to?
The giant TV is top heavy and has Velcro straps.
Yeah.
Like that's going to hold it from falling on a kid.
Yeah, no, kids in my town learned about 9/11 by hearing stories told months later because we didn't have the right. Yeah, but no, we were just they spent like 60 seconds telling us like, yeah, so the Challenger blew up, and then we're expected to just like go back to work. And now it's like, well, your parents didn't like the election and they've stressed you out about it, so you should stay home. The last place you should be is around parents like those. But just quickly, we mentioned to our kids, they didn't ask, they didn't care in the morning. Again, they're 9 and 7. And before they left, we're like, we want to talk to you about the election because people might be talking about it. And, Donald Trump won. And they're like, okay. I was like, you have any questions? Nope. And then at dinner, we're like, so did anybody talk about the election at school? Nope. Oh, not even your teacher? No. I'm like, oh, great. The way it should be when you have a fourth grader and a first grader.
They train them here in LA. My girlfriend's a teacher. We've been together for like 9 years. My mom's a teacher, so I've been around these parasites my whole life. They train the teachers all week leading up to it. They have like struggle sessions and training for how to get whipped up into a frenzy. They call it like mental health. And then the teachers will go in and sure as shit, every single time, the most neurotic teachers who need the most, who have the most issues with their kids are the classrooms where the kids are like melting down and freaking out. And the teachers who either don't give a fuck or secretly support Trump, their kids are just totally fine.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. They're like, oh yeah, well, that's what people voted for. So.
Well, and we'll have some people a little later in the show who work for institutions of higher learning who might be a little bit unhinged. Let's finish up with Whoopi, who is far less accepting than Joy is.
She did this in 2 months.
Yeah,
She did this in 2
round of applause. You really do like participation.
Everybody can always say, oh, she should have done this, she should have done this, she did what she did. She was everywhere, she talked to everybody, and people
Not
didn't
Joe
come
Rogan.
out. I don't know why, and it doesn't even matter. He's now the president. I'm still not going to say his name.
Oh, she's on strike.
So she's not going to say his name. Some people are accepting of it, but we do have to go over to one of the most beloved figures anywhere on the internet and see how accepting they are. I'm, of course, talking about John Melendez.
Can I get a little sympathy? 'Cause I got a bloody ass. I'm bleeding generously. 'Cause I got a bloody ass. Love.
Shout out to Douche of the Dabbleverse who made that one. So John, some of you might have seen some of these clips, but John was on with his buddy Brian Karam, who when Brian Karam's the level-headed one, you know something's going on.
Till kingdom come. Thanks for the $2. Senator John Bryan, will you accept Trump as your president?
I already said I would. Ask a better question. Thanks for the $1.99 contributing to the Save the John Melendez Fund. So next.
At least I'll have this instead of Social Security. And no, Brian, unlike you, I will not accept him as our president. Because I don't accept him as a human being.
Well, he fits the definition of human being, I guess. So I accepted as president. I just don't accept his policies.
So is anyone surprised? Let us know in the chat that John's like,
a hypocrite.
You think? Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, he used to give shit to him, but a lot of them used to give shit to people on the right when Biden won, and they would say, not my president. There were signs all over people's lawns, on the back of cars, all that stuff. So what are they were always dismissing it, belittling it, saying that, we need to be better than that. And then the election doesn't go in their favor. And what do? They immediately go and do everything that was happening the last 4 years and say, he's not my president. We need a recall. We got to check the votes. Like,
yeah, where are those votes?
All against this shit about 4 years ago.
Look, I can't wait until the white dudes for Kamala show up outside the Capitol on January 6th. I think that we're gonna be in for some just very tame, like, I don't really think we should actually go to the Capitol. No, we shouldn't. Let's just talk about our feelings. How about a big hug?
I can't wait for the surplus of those shirts to show up in impoverished countries, like the misprinted World Series shirts and Super Bowl shirts.
Yeah,
they're gonna bring all their cuck chairs and sit in the Senate chamber, sit in the corner like in the hotels.
A bunch of kids in Cambodia wearing white dudes for Harris shirts.
Well, a resourceful super chatter who unfortunately was riddled with a typo or two. But the person who sent this is obviously very smart and very funny, because that person asks John a question.
Cass, thanks for the $5. How many beers deep are you when you found out Trump won? Follow up. How many beers deep are we all allowed? Right? Be right at this very moment. I haven't had a beer yet, Vince. It's almost 5 o'clock. I think you believe me there.
It's almost 5 o'clock.
Almost 5
o'clock.
Wow. That's Vince the loser's face of like, John, we all know you're lying. There's no way you haven't had a beer
Why
yet.
is Vince ripping off Anthony's old studio?
Oh, you're right. That is that look. I'm sure to Vince it's very funny, as with everything Vince does.
So what time last night did you start to feel that she was going to lose?
When I got out of the bathroom, and they were gloating
How
how
was he in the bathroom?
that she lost North Carolina.
Probably a very long time.
And
Bathroom
and then
o'clock.
I was getting angry because and then it was on Fox News, and then I started.
Why
to
would he
slowly
be
lose
watching
it.
Fox
Yeah.
News?
It's been a.
He probably thought she was going to win. You know, it's like the
He is anger. He's addicted to anger porn. He watches everything that he hates because he's addicted to it. He can't just go, he'll quote MSNBC or CNN when he sees those things online or finds it on Twitter and says, oh, because I was watching it. But then this is a look into what he was really doing. He was watching Fox News all night just to be angry and yell.
Yeah, the famous baseball recording from the 50s of the playoff between the Giants and the Dodgers. The Giants win the pennant. That's the Giants broadcast, and the only reason we have it is because even in the 50s, somebody who was a Dodger fan was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna fucking record this, and we're gonna hear that asshole be upset." Oh, god damn it! It's the only reason that clip survives is because somebody recorded it off the radio. So I think that's what John was definitely doing. There's a lot of bullshit along the way, but let's finally get the answer. How many beers deep was he?
How many beers deep? I think I did about 9 beers last night, man.
Okay. Now,
Did?
on election night,
Wait, 9 beers by the time North Carolina was called? That was like 9 p.m.
Yeah. So, but it's like when you ask a girl her number, how many guys you slept with, you always have to, I don't know, triple it or multiply it by. So 9 means like at least a 30 pack, right? What do you guys think?
Yeah, the did strikes me as odd too, because I'm an alcoholic. I know a lot of alcoholics, and I would never say, "Oh, I did about a half a bottle of wild turkey last night." It's like, how much you drink? Like a lot. A half a bottle, a 12 pack, an 18 pack probably, or I don't know. Once it gets into the 9 territory, it's I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Clearly, I can't count cans because there's a ton in where I live. But
how much are in those cheap, those suitcases of beer they sell like at a Walmart or something?
Oh yeah,
36.
All right, it's 36. So
or 24.
It's at least that.
Yeah,
whatever's in that case.
He definitely needs Vince to send him more beer this morning. So you know what? Maybe he actually hadn't drank that day because he went through that entire suitcase. So he also confesses to
he was
drinking
pre-gaming during the build-up to celebrate, and then his pre-game celebration turned into.
He's like, "Oh, exit poll, do a shot." All right, great. So he confessed to drinking something else too.
Oh, get this, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, the Duke had an espresso martini last night. Just do it.
And I'm probably only playing that because he takes a shot at Carl there. So just do it. That's him making fun of Carl because once Carl said, just do it. And, John, who is, of course, an ally and a friend to the LGBTQIA plus community, thinks that the funniest thing to do is call Carl gay, which, I think Carl came out a while ago, so I don't even know why he's sticking with this.
Something else that came out a while ago were recordings of him talking to Kate Meany, disparaging people who drank espresso martinis, and now he's indulging himself.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, the guy goes, "Hey, John, you want an espresso martini?" I go, "Yeah, fuck it."
What? You hit him in the head. I mean, you come out of the bathroom all pissed.
So yeah, basically the idea that it's he might as well have put like 3 cocks in his mouth the way that he talked about espresso martini beforehand. But anyway,
is that the bartender that's offering him an espresso martini? When does that happen?
I guess he was watching. I guess he was watching some of the election coverage at the at a bar somewhere. But I'm sure that he took an Uber home and he didn't drive drunk, right? I mean, there's no reason to expect that John would do anything that would risk the safety of anybody else out there. I do want to move it over to let's get back to people who were able to keep their jobs in late night. Let's take a look at Stephen Colbert. We saw a little bit of him before we started.
Oh yeah.
And so this is how the show proper starts. This is Stephen Colbert. Remember, he's a comedian. Yeah. And this is how the show starts.
Oh. It happened again. After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election.
I'm going to let him talk more, but doesn't it sound so natural? Whatever was very clearly written out ahead of time and heavily edited. Wait till you hear Seth Meyers. There's a lot of prep work went into these diatribes.
There's little parentheses explaining what he needs to be doing and expressing as he's saying this. It's like, make yourself small, angry face, that kind of stuff after each comment that he has to make.
Parentheses, hands in pockets, please. Yeah. Oh my God! Wait, his audience isn't happy about it. I'm shocked.
It's almost like you rehearsed that. The deep shock and sense of loss is enormous.
Is it?
Okay, but let's look at the bright side. This way, at least there'll be a peaceful transfer of power. Mike Pence, ollie Oxenfree.
Yeah, so I guess what he's saying is that if Harris had won, there wouldn't be a peaceful transfer of power, except, of course, for the fact that her party's already in the White House. So it's not really the same transfer of power. Yeah, but
it's like one of those, they got all the elements of the joke, and then they just throw it to you. Here, I brought the ingredients for a pie. You guys make it.
I believe they brought Tom Myers in to help with this, because there's elements that could turn into a joke if someone who knew how to actually crafted it.
All day yesterday, I was walking around proudly wearing my I voted sticker. Today, I wore my I am questioning my fundamental belief in the goodness of humanity sticker.
You notice the audience applauded, but it didn't really
the sign went on.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. But, I mean, this is a solid joke. I am questioning my fundamental belief in the goodness of humanity. And Colbert was full of jokes.
As a late night host, people often say to me, come on, part of you's got to want Trump to win because he gives you so much material to work with. No.
Yeah.
No. No one tells the guy who cleans the bathroom, wow, you must love it when someone has explosive diarrhea. There's so much material for you to work with.
Because Trump is diarrhea. I mean, I think that obviously that's very funny. And this is a high level. I can only imagine the line in the budget for this show in a year of what the writing staff makes. But good job, guys. Good job. So I only have one clip of this. There's a bunch that I could have used, but there's one clip of Jimmy Kimmel that says it all. I know a lot of you have
Is he
seen
crying?
it. Yes.
Oh,
and I think it's very important that, we are also an audio podcast. And I think you just have to imagine the glassy-eyed demeanor of someone just being told that, a vehicle with all of their loved ones, a bus went over a cliff, and everyone that they've ever known is now dead, and they're alone in this world. Then you might understand what Jimmy Kimmel's eyes look like.
Be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go. For healthcare,
So it tells me we need to
this
go.
This is me sewing. This is me finding out.
One, two. He has the same problem John has with his green screen and the filter settings. Like he's got that grayed out. He's as gray as his background.
Yeah, actually,
like late night's supposed to be very vivid colors and brightly lit and all this stuff, and he's like they can't get the camera to white balance correctly.
What is he crying about? Abortions?
Well, he's going to tell you.
Of hardworking immigrants who make this country go. For healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine. For
that gets a tear?
The Ukraine, not poor
Ukraine.
people.
Yeah. God. Hey, what's his band leader's name? Guillermo?
Guillermo's his security guard.
Ship that little fucker right back to Nicaragua or wherever he's from. El Salvador.
Yeah, I
get rid of him.
Guillermo is probably looking to relocate to a talk show in Toronto or something, where maybe he'll be safer.
For the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
Oh, shut up.
So at what point, Dick, do you think that people who voted for Trump are going to realize the mistake they made? How long do you think?
I don't know. Maybe when I don't think Trump's probably gonna. I don't know. Maybe when Israel takes over all the Middle East. It depends. It depends because I'm willing to trade it all if we could just if all the liberals end up in crystalline prisons for 10,000 years. If that doesn't happen, then I'll say, you know what? I guess we made a mistake.
For 10,000 years.
I guess, yeah. The prices are good. The stock market's going great.
Yeah.
All the illegals are gone. Government spending's been cut by 95%. But Trump didn't lock all Democrats in crystalline prisons for 10,000 years. So I guess fuck him.
Yeah,
I messed up.
So then next time you'll vote for Alex Jones because you know he'll actually follow through.
The left will not stop telling you how to think and what to feel. Even leading into this, and they lose, you'd think they'd back off a little bit, maybe take it as like a humble bitch slap if they would, and then they just come in there and go, well, you guys just don't know yet that you voted the wrong way. You don't understand. It's like you're still talking down to everybody. This is why no one fucking likes you or tolerates this shit, because you're speaking for everybody because you know better. You come from a point where they're more elite, they're more educated than you. They know what's better for you. We're helping people. No, you're talking for people that don't need to be talked for, and you're telling them everything that's wrong. But I'll fix it. You need to come to the way, and it's almost like a missionary where they're coming to you and saying your life was okay for now, but you're still doing it wrong. You have to come over and join our organization so that you know that you're living your life right. Even in defeat, the day it happens, they're still coming at you and saying how you did everything wrong all the fucking time. And celebrities didn't learn from this bullshit that they pulled during the pandemic. When that Imagine video came out and everybody in the world went, go fuck yourself. You're crying in your mansion while everyone else is really suffering.
No, but remember the Zoom call with all the Avengers that we had a couple weeks ago? Remember all the Avengers were talking to each other? I'm surprised that didn't. They did assemble.
I can say this.
They assembled to break Diddy out of prison.
They were paid to do that. The
Yeah.
Imagine thing.
Robert Downey Jr. doesn't do anything for free. Yeah.
No, they were all paid to do that. So I can chalk it off to, it's like they're just doing a role. It's fictitious. That's what they were paid to do. The Imagine video.
That's what the Nazis said.
I'd back a lot for them, by the way. The Imagine video was like somebody said this would be a good idea. This would be good publicity. You really should do it. And then they all wanted to hop on because other celebrities were doing it. And then they saw that the world went, go fuck yourself. They did it even more during the Harris rallies when she had the Beyonce concert. They all came out there thinking it was a concert. She spoke for 10, 15 minutes, gave her a hug and left. And everyone goes, what the fuck? You promised us a concert. And then all these
To be fair, I think that I'm probably part of an electorate that would have worked for, because I would much rather hear Beyonce talk than hear her sing. But I do know that I'm in the minority on that. Eric and I were trading messages yesterday. There is this narrative out there from people that I like who are posting, and they're upset for what they thought was going to happen. But there's this narrative of, and we'll see a video like this in a little bit, of enjoy your cheap eggs, enjoy gas being cheap. I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of the point.
You took away my rights. Yeah, I can't live anymore. Why? Why can't you live anymore? Find a way.
Like, I wasn't able to feed my family, and I voted for something that I hope helps that. And if I'm wrong, and this is the general saying that, it's like they're telling you that your problems aren't as important as theirs.
As their imaginary problems. Like, I love the ones where it's like, I was telling my daughter that these people didn't want her to have us to have abortions so they could have cheap eggs. Like, do you have to use daughter? Like, do you not understand that those are like conflicting messages to promote abortion with your fucking kids?
I will tell you, Dick, my daughter's 7. This election cycle, more than any other, I was so worried. I'm like, oh my God, is she going to ask me what abortion is? Because it just gets thrown around so much. Fortunately, we at least have maybe 4 more years. When she's 11, I guess I'll let her know. But I was just like, why is everybody?
Yeah, don't worry. The schools will if you don't.
That's true. By that point, yeah. By the time you get to middle school in Burbank, then you basically learn everything. But and Eric, what you were saying, it's like, the economy's really bad. No, look at the numbers; they're better. I really don't feel safe. There's a lot of crime. Look at the crime numbers; they're going down. I'm like,
Which
okay, so you're just ignoring everything.
Lied to that, and the FBI eventually had to put out. It's like, yeah, the numbers were doctored. These are the real numbers. Suppressed whatever they were doing over there. They lied about those numbers. The thing now that one of the new narratives is that like you're saying, the eggs, the gas, all these little cliche talking points that were sent to everybody so that they can all have the same answers and response when they're trying to fight logically and intelligently. They're like, you chose money over people's life. Yeah, they did, because throughout the last several months, they were telling you, and they were saying that it's there, but they were downplaying it. Everybody was more concerned about the economy. You kept making abortion the top issue. That's what you guys ran on. On this side, they're like, no, it's our fucking wallets, our pocketbooks. We can't afford to do any of this stuff. People are losing jobs. We need the money to take care of our families before we can deal with these other issues. No, we're telling you you're wrong. And then they're like, you picked money and you picked your house and your car over the. Yeah, they did. People don't give a fuck about the trans shit anymore. People don't give a fuck about all these other things that they're pushing. No one's denying women their health care and all that stuff. It went to the states instead of the federal government having to deal with it. The states choose how they're going to handle it.
That's an important point.
The states choose how they handle your firearms and how they handle other shit. So why is this any different? Oh, no, you want me to die so that you can have affordable gas.
Yes.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yes.
It's like exactly.
Yeah, I'll pay more for gas, actually.
$10 a gallon, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I'll go to the
crystals aren't cheap.
I'll go to the side that you have to use your card instead of cash over here just to get you to go away.
The
dude, LA elected a new DA. LA kicked out our DA and elected a new DA. And the new DA said he's going to bring back the death penalty. Yeah. That's how in LA. That's how fed up people are with this shit. It's great. It's by like 60%.
We enjoy going to CVS and not being able to get at any of the products because they all have to be locked up. And then as soon as it gets open, 10 guys run and clean them out and just run out the door. So.
I hope they do.
But he gonna kill people. Yeah, you. That's why we elected him.
I hope they do, because I like to see that LA is turning into more of Texas as Texas is turning into more of LA. I like to see the swap that's happening.
That's a great point.
I love the California cope. I see these guys on Twitter saying like, "Oh yeah, well, California we're gonna stop exporting food." For all you Republicans, like, do you motherfuckers think like that San Francisco's making the food? Where the fuck do you think the food comes from? California is all red. It's all red except for like these little bubbles of total retardation up and down the coast.
Here in LA, we don't have our own water. Our water comes from Colorado. So so we don't.
That's all they have to do. Trump could just go, "We're going to build the wall in Colorado, the border of Nevada and California." All the water gets blocked out, and he goes, "Now what are you going to do?"
If I'm not able to drive to Vegas at a moment's notice, that's when I'm going to really be upset. And just to tidy up on this, the people I'm talking about posting these things, enjoy your lower cost of living. They're in states like California, New York, and Massachusetts, states where there's nothing in jeopardy. But I digress. So we have I want to catch up on super chats, but go ahead, Eric. Your thought.
You said nothing in jeopardy. I live in New Jersey, just outside of Manhattan, and New Jersey was in danger of flipping.
I saw that. Yeah, it's like a swing state now.
So the next day, when they were starting to get all the numbers and sift through everything, I guess because they got to compare everything to Biden, because she has no track record of any kind of election. She was not in a primary. She has no track record of anything.
Right.
You're comparing to his numbers. When Biden won in 2020, he won by like 17%. For this state. When she won, she barely had 4.
Yeah.
Like Trump almost turned New Jersey because everyone did not like her.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, when they get the voter ID laws in, it's going to be a whole nother ball game, because all the Democrat states are run by people who are either criminals or totally incompetent. It's nuts.
Christian, for your next time that you're doing this, our pal Dave Landau hosts a show called Normal World. Yeah. He did a clip for The Blaze where he was in the Detroit area and he was going to go poll people about who they wanted to vote. So he was going to cemeteries and just talking to headstones about who they were picking to vote. It was fucking hilarious.
I like Dave. He's I think he's not working with Crowder anymore. So I think I like him. I like him again. Yeah, it just took there was a minute there. Goizermus gifted 1 Who Are These Podcasts membership. So if you get a gifted membership, make sure that you take advantage of getting 2 bonus episodes every month, and you can watch Who Are These Podcasts record live on Thursdays and Saturdays. Tomorrow, Carl's guest will be Eric's friend, Brian Johnson. So make sure you check that out.
2 is too many. You want to say at patreon.com/The Dick Show, I'm doing 1 bonus episode a month. So it's, no fluff, all hard hitting bonus content over there.
Speaking of that,
it's about quality, not quantity.
Yeah, Carl.
This is like my 6th hour of
it's like having 2 wives. That's too many. Ask Nick Ricada, right? You want 1.
One of the bonus episodes coming up actually is a crossover between Who Are These Podcasts and The Dick Show. I believe that's next Thursday night. So
yes, and that'll be our 2nd bonus episode for the month. Just FYI.
Right. So that means you're done for the year. Yeah, you don't even have to do December now. You just
this administration. No, I'm one bonus episode per Trump. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Pete Czar, member for 15 months. I love Chase Sutley, Christian Blatt. That's not going to be my sign off, but I like the way that you got me to say it. And associate producer Ralph. Ralph, you can message me if the potato wants to jump on at all. But he says, yikes, Scoob. Nagel is on WATB and Dick. The great associate producer Ralph, who I believe is the personal attaché to Cardiff Electric. Labyrinth Mystic, I tried many variations. Ace Hoke was next. I think that was referring to his earlier one. Chris Primer, I hope Whoopi comes back to Star Trek. She could double as a Borg cube to cut costs.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big nerd, and I can't pretend I don't know what that means. I'm going to say, Chris.
She's fat.
That's pretty say, Chris, that's very mean.
Oh, okay.
That's very mean. But and Greg Williams also gifted a Who Are These Podcasts membership. Non-white dabbler. I didn't know there were any of those. Ready for low energy monotone veto tonight. Big Dick.
I'm gonna lock Vito in a cage. I have a chicken wire coop that I'm rigging up above his seat, and I'm gonna pull a lever and drop it on him, trap him.
And the most important super chat we can ever get, of course, comes from our friend Koof, reminding us, thank you for not killing yourselves. And he says, go Trump. So thank you, Koof. All right. I know that we've kind of gotten the A-list late night talk shows, but this overwritten mouthful from Seth Meyers, who generally I think Seth Meyers is pretty funny. And I think he ends actually on a good joke. So let's see what it takes for him to get to a joke.
I wish I had some trenchant words of wisdom to impart. I'm sad to say I don't. We're about to step over the precipice into truly uncharted territory. You need only look back to Trump's first term to get a sense of how dangerous his second term will be. And no one could say they didn't know what they were getting because Trump made it crystal clear. All I do know is that the fight for justice doesn't end with one election. We must all gird ourselves for what comes next and do everything in our power to make real the world we want to live in. At times.
Do you think he thinks
what
that this
the
is
fuck, man? It's like a book report.
Yeah. Do you think he thinks this is the read through? You know, this is like the rehearsal before the show because the way he's reading it is. I don't know how into it he is. Is he? I don't know. Did NBC make him read this? I mean,
can we check it for time? Can we get a sense of how long this is so we know where to put the commercials? Like, what is this?
This is the oral part of his presentation to complete his exam so he can graduate.
Yeah. To do everything in our power.
It's just 3
to
credits
make real
away,
the world we want to live in. At times like this, when everything feels overwhelming and impossible, like all hope is lost, we have no choice but to look back on the broad scope of history. Justice is not automatic. Comeuppance is not guaranteed. Politics, unfortunately.
By the way, I think that clip of Trump is there because they were like, we gotta cut something out of this. Jesus Christ, Seth.
Did he realize that this is like really pompous and condescending? Like, right? Like he wrote it out before and he's like, all right, this is going to really nail him. And then he's right about to do it. You know that feeling? You're like, this was a mistake. I got to get through this though.
It's every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific when we start Who Are These Broadcasters? And I read back the intro I wrote right beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought that was funny 20 minutes ago. I already know that it's not.
Yeah. This is 3 pages long. Oh, what did I do? Why did I do this? People are sick of celebrities. You have no right to be here. You lost. Why are you giving a speech? Oh.
You look at the paper, it's just one long run-on sentence. You have no punctuation, like 3 pages of this nonsense. And you can tell by the Photoshop, too. It's like, we need a smug version of him and a resting bitch face on her so that she looks disappointed in the country.
And by the way, most of the late night shows, I think, still use cue cards. They don't use teleprompters. So, and I think he uses this guy, Wally, who's done SNL. He's been around NBC forever. I can't imagine having to write this bullshit out on cue cards, and then he changes it, and you need to do a whole new cue card. Thanks, Seth.
It's not a Marvel movie, even though Joe Biden does look eerily like old Captain America.
So there was the joke I thought was
wow. The aristocrats.
Yeah, so it's such a long way to go. Is my old boss Dennis Miller would say, is there an off ramp to this joke somewhere? Because it took a minute to get there. All right, we have one more late night talk show host. Obviously, we all know Taylor Tomlinson. She hosts the show after Colbert, and I don't know if it's at midnight, after midnight, but it's a reboot of At Midnight. But here she is with her thoughts.
Honored to be on television while women are still allowed to be.
You could clap.
What is that?
You could clap for that one, Dick. Maybe the idea
That's a host? No.
Yeah, this is a host of a show.
Isn't she also a comic?
She's a comic, yeah, but this is a 12:30 show. Dick. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, you could put James Corden on at 12:30. You know, you can put Tom Snyder on at 12:30.
It looks like one of those videos you make in the mall. Like if you're like, hey, you want to pretend to be a talk show host? Come on in here.
Actually, this looks like Hack Ride's friend DJ Electra. It looks like her avatar.
It is an honor to be on television while women are still allowed to be.
Not for long, bitch!
So, yeah, how did everyone sleep last night? I mean, seriously, which sedatives did you take? I personally took a sleeping pill and then ate a family-sized bag of jelly beans. And
it went straight to her face.
I'm not kidding. I started rewatching Game of Thrones to calm down.
So that's how she handled it. That's how.
I didn't calm down. I stayed up all night drinking and posting about suffering.
I noticed I heard back from you at like 8 a.m. on Wednesday because I was like, I'm pretty sure Dick didn't go to bed. But there's a gold mine of content that can be found if you just search Morning Joe. But this is the conversation that we're talking about. This one's made the rounds. This is people just talking about the cost of living. And if you're Joe Scarborough, who knows the last time that he bought his own groceries? You don't have to worry about it. He probably has a personal chef, and it's not Mika. You know, I mean,
he's got an expensive apartment near Midtown, like towards the Upper East Side. There's no grocery store anywhere near there.
Right,
everything's being delivered.
It just gets delivered. So that might explain how little he has the understanding of groceries.
I want to talk about economy for a second. A few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, "Oh my God, Trump's going to win." I go, "Why is that?" He goes, "I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, "Well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it?" Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, "Good point." But it actually, everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just $7. The $7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What?
Some
Is
places.
it framed in gold? Okay.
Is it framed in gold? Huh?
Mug
Is this on? Is this on, Mika? You know, you have to come home and.
He's doing the steel toe smug, like half smug, half coping kind of thing. It's like self-coddling, if you will, like this. And then to show when he's like, "I'm going to throw out a random price of a grocery," that he has no idea how much anything costs. Rich people and out-of-touch celebrities love to do that. They throw it out there like, "I'm just like the common man," and they always get it wrong.
How much could a banana cost anyway, Michael? $10?
Does
it made it cold?
There's not a lot of great clips from the Ellen DeGeneres show, but there is one where Bill Gates was in studio and they brought out some grocery items to see if he guessed. And I think he thought a DiGiorno pizza cost $25. So, yeah, I think that Joe Scarborough is not in Bill Gates' income bracket, but his awareness is probably very similar. So we've highlighted a lot of the people who are in mourning and who are just really bummed out. But over there at Newsmax, it's like spring break every week for the next 4 years as Carl Higbie kicks off his show.
Survey says America has had enough of you-know-what. Enough of this government, big government, police state, tax and spend, foreign wars, censorship, drag queen story hours, and this woke crap. Donald Trump, with an electoral landslide and the popular vote, which I don't think a Republican has won in like 20 years.
Correct.
He looks poised to keep and even pick up seats in the House. Senate had 3 Republican flips to get the number to 52. Let's go.
Well, I'm glad that Carl's excited, but just so long as he doesn't get carried away with his predictions.
The next 12 years are going to be lit. Yes, I think J.D. Vance is going to walk away with 2 terms. He's like a near flawless candidate. But
no.
The guy from the donut shop is a flawless candidate. That's the flawless candidate, Carl. Carl, I know you're excited. It's okay. You got a little carried away. Totally understand it. I thought the Mets were going to beat the Dodgers. All right, I get it. We all get a little puffed up sometimes, and we think things are going to happen that have no chance of actually.
The guy with less sense of humor than Hillary Clinton is going to win the president after Trump. I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know if we want that. But again, we do go back to, of course, the people who are upset and angry. And you gents might have seen this. I know a lot of people have seen this. This is a well-known lolcow. In fact, this clip comes from a show that's called Lolcow Live. So they just stream snipe a bunch of lolcow content. This is Boogie2998. He's a content creator. And
didn't he get in a lot of trouble for something?
He did.
Yeah, I'm wearing it actually. He shot at my friend Frank Hassel in his front of his house. He invited Frank Hassel to come over because they were arguing online, and then he busted out a 44 Magnum handgun and shot it at an elementary school to get Frank Hassel away from his house.
Then you're going to really enjoy what Boogie's going through in this clip.
Uh-oh.
Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm so pissed off. Fuck.
So he rips his shirt off, probably instantly regrets it, and he storms off.
They gave Hogan the same shit when he did it at the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden, but he's just like, oh, it's okay for me to just go do it all willy-nilly.
Oh my God, his tits look like a wedding cake. What the fuck? Look at that.
Dick, does this put Boogie's life choices in perspective at all for you? That
you know what? I talked to Trump. We're gonna come take Boogie's teeth. He's got those big fake teeth. We're repossessing that shit. Look at those things. We're taking them. We're gonna deport those fucking teeth back to India where they're from or wherever he bought them.
Yeah, I do believe that's part of the Turkish surgery that you can get.
Yeah, he got them for cheap.
Those are some nice chicklets, as they used to say back in the day. Yeah.
To Mexico.
And it's interesting. A man that large has the expensive gamer chairs that are built to custom, like narrow. They're meant for like women who have neon shit. Like, whoops. It's meant for that, and he's still fitting in that chair.
Did you get?
Are we not supposed to swear on here?
Were you upset?
No, I just meant the neon light like women do.
Oh, because you have the neon light.
I was like, whoops.
I'm pretty sure that there have been some worse words said on Carl's channel just this week alone. Let's take a look at a couple more super chats before we move over to a very special presentation. Greg Williams, just remember over the next 4 years, as you're in your car paying less than $2 a gallon for gas, going to work where you have job security because you're not competing with illegals or DEI tards, that Trump just really sucks. Greg Williams, you get it. That's what they're trying to tell us. That's what my Facebook friends are saying, and that's what we're going to see in a moment. And
when women can't buy useless shit on Amazon all day, every day, because it's 40% more expensive, really, we're going to really be so upset about Trump. Arr! I have no Halloween decorations this year, Trump. No new Halloween decorations. Arr!
Another thing they're posting on social media is when they're saying it's like about the the day one deporting of illegal immigrants. Yeah. And they go, and you're worried about your milk prices and your egg prices. Well, you're not going to have anybody on the farms to get this stuff once you deport everybody. I'm like, so you're admitting the illegals are being hired to run all these, take these jobs and do these are jobs you wouldn't want anyway. Okay, correct. But you also admitted that this is all wrong. And now
legitimately,
Oh, we're gonna make prisoners do them then.
Well, but also somebody asked Elon, like, how far away are we from a drone that can pick strawberries? You know, Dick, if you drive up the 101 to Santa Barbara, you see those.
Yeah,
we're pretty far from that. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
that still should be an expensive strawberry.
All right, how about prisoners then? We'll go back to
prisoners are cheap. Oh, and we're gonna have a lot of them because we're arresting all of you fuckers now.
Chad
Woohoo!
Steak, $5.
Pick that strawberry.
Chad Steak says Game of Thrones TV show sucks. I've never seen it, but I'm told that I'm supposed to like it, but I just don't like hobbits or any of that shit. So that's why I haven't seen it. All right. So a beat that we don't usually cover on this show. It is best suited for Who Are These Socials, and they had some tremendous stuff yesterday, but there's just an amazing amount of content. We do have to head on over to TikTok.
TikTok's a psyop by the Chinese to fuck up the minds of our youth and some other people too. So let's talk quite a lot about these TikTokers we stalk and know. Oh, TikTok fucking blows. TikTok's a psyop.
Oh my God, I love it so much. Let's play it again. As I was saying, look, there's videos out there that if you want people who are crying or scared for their lives, worried for people, you can find all that. Here's what I want. I want people who are either an idiot, an asshole, or furious. And some of these videos have all of the above, but my first video might actually be my favorite from TikTok. This guy sees an opportunity and he wants to seize it. I do believe he resembles Ethan Suplee from Mallrats and My Name is Earl. But take a look at this guy is already forward thinking.
Hey, everybody. I know some of you are upset that Kamala lost. But here's an idea to show support, ladies. Post a picture of your feet with the caption, "I'm still standing." That way she knows you still support her.
I mean, I love this guy. It's like, if there's ever a time, like, show pictures of your feet, I'm still
America is the land of opportunity, and he's being an opportunist to get what he wants.
Now, we're going to see.
Because they always show their tits. Like, women do protests, and they're like, look at our tits. But they never go, like, and they're probably going, the feet guys are like, how about, like, look at our feet. Yeah.
I'm Quentin Tarantino, and I support this message.
Hashtag,
exactly.
What was his hashtag? I'm still standing.
I'm still standing. Yeah. So,
Okay.
So me, Eric, and Dick are all going to post our feet and send it to this guy.
I'm sending him the Elton John video. I mean, it's the same thing.
So there's a lot of speculation that the Department of Education might be abolished under the new administration. And this is a video that proves that maybe the Department of Education could be doing a little bit more.
Okay, so since Trump won the election, we're cooked. Yup. I'm gonna be leaving the U.S. and I'm gonna be moving to Hawaii,
Wakanda.
So we'll see how it goes, and I'll update you guys.
So he's gonna update us when he leaves the U.S. and he moves to Hawaii, where
Scottie Pippen failed geography, and I failed it too. Apparently, because they said the wrong word, geography.
That's all right.
That's going to be an easy transition, I think. He's going to have no trouble adapting to the customs of a
I'm sure.
foreign
Yeah,
nation.
they love mainlanders over there. They like when you come for a week or two, but what they really love is when you stay forever. That's what they look for. And here's a largely visual one, but there's a lot of rage, but sometimes there's false rage. And if you get invited to take it out on a TV, you should probably ease up a little bit. So this girl just kind of whacks the TV and it wobbles, and then she says to her friend, "Go ahead." Kind of like this friend, by the way. It's kind of cute.
Fuck
Anyway.
that TV and fuck that asshole.
Yeah, she hit it again.
Wow.
All right, she's gonna take it.
Good. That's exactly what should have happened.
Were they trying to hit it so it didn't fuck it up?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Oh,
Like, gave it a
man.
real kick.
Well, you better run out and buy new electronics before the tariffs go in place, because then you won't be able to afford this $100 television.
I do love these videos after the Super Bowl. There's always one fan base that you're gonna, anytime that Dallas Cowboy fans are kicking that in, I think that's good. So I did mention that we were going to focus on some celebrities.
Wait, what is in front of their, I'm sorry, what is in front of this
that's
TV? Is this a bunch of crystals? Did they line up crystals for like superpowers for Kamala?
Yes, I didn't notice them. I've seen this video like 5 times. Yes, that has to be what those are, Dick.
Pink thing on the right, is that shit that cam girls use where you send a donation and it vibrates in them? See it right
Oh,
there,
yeah. Look at it. Can you read these book titles? What to do if your dad sucked? How to get over your dad? I keep fucking guys because of my dad. Wow. What an interesting assortment.
Yeah.
Fucking the wrong guy because of my dad.
I mean, everything's dad's fault.
Yeah.
So we do want to veer over in the world of TikTok. We do have some celebrities.
WATD, who are these celebrity news? Who are these celebrity news?
Gotta
So
lower
this,
the volume
this
on that
one,
production.
what's that?
You gotta lower the volume on the production. It's so loud.
I mean, I will take it up with Hamburger. I will talk to him about that. So this one is from TikTok, and it is a celebrity. I verified that. I believe this is comedian Carrot Top.
I know this will get me in trouble.
I'm
but
sorry,
I
it's
really,
Kathy
really
Griffin.
wish
My
Taylor
mistake.
Swift had done an event with Vice President Harris
Oh.
in Pennsylvania 2 months ago. Okay, I just had to say that because she is so powerful, and it's not fair that the weight of the world should be on a pop star's shoulders.
So do we all feel like that's what the problem was, that there weren't enough celebrities performing enough concerts and doing enough events for her? That's what the problem was, right?
Bro, you know what the problem was? And Biden, this is why he won. Because he walked out and he played Suavecito on his cell phone. And Mexican men heard that and said, I'm voting for this guy. And Kamala never did that. That's all that had to happen.
That's really all it would have taken. See?
Yeah.
Well, take a note. Yeah,
I think
I was.
the problem is she should have doubled down on that photo that he posted like 8 years ago, where she's holding Trump's head.
Yeah.
Like she scalped him. She should have done it again.
Yeah, well, I think that it probably would have gotten more views than this, but yeah,
with Vance's head also, two heads.
That's the difference now. And see if you can get Mike Pence to hold one of them. So this TikTok is from Michael Cohen, who people know as a former president. As the former attorney for former president and president-elect Donald Trump. He was also a VP of the Trump Organization. I'm not quite sure what filter he's using, but I guess people are chatting him so that they get to add things to the screen.
No problem. Wow. Genius you are.
There's a turkey.
Can we stop with that? I appreciate it. I don't like the stupid turkeys. All right. Let's just knock that stupid shit off, please.
No more turkeys.
All right.
No more.
I did. I said I was leaving.
He's got laser eyes.
And then the following day, get that through your dumb heads. The following day, I turned around and I said that there's no chance in the world that I'm leaving my country. Thank you very much. All right? Not leaving anyway. You leave.
No,
This is my
you're the one who
country.
said you were going to. Why are we leaving? Oh, the turkey's
I
back.
have every right. Every single right within which to turn around when we stop so we can. All right, 2 seconds. I'm going to end up blocking this idiot.
No, gentlemen. That one might be my favorite, though. He's got the handlebar mustache. So I'll sign up for that filter, though, if it means more money. But I'll only let them put costumes on Eric Zane. I don't want to be looking stupid, but Zane will sign up for it.
Too late.
So obviously, we have a lot of people out there on social media and in the world who are angry, but some people aren't angry enough. And this woman's going to tell us what we should do about that.
Has men in their life that are maybe just acting a little too calm right now, that may have voted for Kamala, may have the same views, but are just a little too level-headed.
So yes, if you voted for Kamala and then you saw that she lost and you're not freaking out and kicking your television, shame on you.
And there's a man we're talking about?
This is a man she's allegedly talking about. So there's a man in her life who isn't upset enough, is what she's telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I think he'd probably be less upset at, I don't know, you put some makeup on before you went on camera, but I mean, you know, I don't know if I see the world the same way. All right. So this one, though, I alluded to earlier, this gentleman works for the University of Oregon, and he has a take. He has a hot take.
And so I say this in the most disrespectful way possible. I don't care if you are my family. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if we've been friends our entire lives. you can literally go fuck yourself if you voted for Donald Trump. If you are so sad about your groceries being expensive, get a better fucking paying job.
So that's the problem. The economy's bad. So what you should do is get a better paying job, right?
What about the people picking the groceries?
Well, they're not gonna, Dick, we know where they're going to be, all right? Look,
I bet you this guy's main jobs is just different volunteer work. Like he doesn't really have a job that's paying him any money.
He's a professional child molester.
Allegedly, Dick. Well, he's going to have plenty of time to pursue hobbies like that because, spoiler alert, University of Oregon has parted ways with him. I think
there you go.
I think he was in charge of student life in the Greek Council.
Is being expensive, get a better fucking paying job. Do better in life. Get a fucking education. Do something. Because you are fucking stupid. And I hope you go jump off of a fucking bridge.
Oh,
so that's the part that got him in trouble. Yeah, so
there's his handle. I want to send to him. It's like, oh, eggs are expensive now, huh? You just get a better paying job, and you should be able to afford all this stuff now.
We here at Who Are These podcast channel, we always want everyone to observe and report. But if you want to observe Leonard, that is definitely where you can do it. If you would like to see more of his videos, that one is still up. So he is suggesting self-harm. But some people want to take matters into their own hands.
Go as far to say that I would purchase a Glock, and if you and I are walking on the same street and it's dark out and you're a white male, you have to be white for this to count, okay?
Okay.
If you're a white male, even if you don't.
This, I think, was proven to be a joke.
Oh, it is?
I think she does comedy or some kind of writing or something like that.
That makes sense.
And this was something she put out there as a parody. For all of that, because I went to look for this one and it doesn't exist, but I found her account. All her other videos are nothing like this, and I was reading. I think this was a performative piece.
Well, this is why I don't usually deal in TikTok because I don't have a good radar for bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it play because I do enjoy. You know what? It is actually very funny. The fact that it's not real, takes a little bit away.
Approach me, I will shoot you. Yeah, I know. So. Has to be on the street, you and I, has to be at nighttime. During the day, not so much, but at nighttime, okay? And you have to have very white skin.
So now that you tell me that, obviously, I got took in by that one.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
That's okay, Christian. It happens.
It happens to all of us. But here's a lady.
The worst thing you can do is say, well, it might as well be real. As long as you don't say that, it's fine.
If only you went to school and they were teaching you about how to decipher fake news and fake information.
If only I grew up in Finland.
Our educational system failed you, Christian.
Here's a lady who doesn't need a gun.
Fucking feral today. If you see me, keep walking. Do not make eye contact. Do not square up at me. Don't act like you know me. Like, I want to eat, like, maybe they voted for Kamala, but, like, I want to eat them right now.
Eat their ass?
Like, I want to take a bite out of those glutes in a bad way.
Is this real?
She's horny.
This
seems like it's fake, too.
No, this chick, I think, is just trying to, drum up some support. She's like, I want to take a bite out of those glutes, in the bad way. And you definitely, like, the guy who's looking for feet would probably be like, yeah, all right, that's cool. I'll definitely check that one out. All right. Well, I do think that this one has to be real, but you guys can decide.
With the bullshit. I'm done.
Because as you can see, it was posted on Libs of TikTok. So they
poor quality.
It is very poorly framed.
They love doing the worst angles of their face when they're doing a one-on-one. It's always looking.
All right, Erik, why don't you?
Because their arms are so heavy. They don't want to. They couldn't imagine holding a 70-pound arm out in front of you like this. So they have to do it like this because they're so fat. Like,
Erik, why don't you tell me what's the good angle for this face?
Not at all. Or the blur filter. Maybe the turkey. Get the turkey back from the other things.
Except she unfortunately ate the turkey filter.
Is this Cardiff Electric's the potato's mom?
This is Mama Electric, exactly.
I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done. If you voted for Trump, I think you're a fucking loser. I think you're stupid. I think you're a moron. I think you're evil. I think that you deserve to die by my hands. More specifically, by the rake that's in my hand that I'm using as a bludgeon.
Or wiping wand.
On your fucking skull. You fucking loser. I'm better than you. You're a horrible person. You don't deserve air. Fucking kill yourself before I get to you. Do it. Kill yourself right now. Reply with a video of you killing yourself.
People just went in a
fucking loser
booth and checked the name that you didn't like, and you're going pretty far here.
She did double down, but that first part of that video was enough to get her thrown off of TikTok, and the second one just seals the deal because everyone just goes and reports for violent threats and murder and all that stuff, and her account's gone. So now she can go cry about that too.
You're gonna need a forklift to throw her off TikTok.
So obviously there's so much more of that, but I tried to pick and choose, and I only got fooled on a couple of those TikToks. Before we wind things down, get to plugs, and finish off the super chats, we have one more presentation, so we can all look back and laugh, regardless of who you voted for. I think you all enjoy this great moment in broadcasting history.
WPTB, who are these broadcast history? Broadcast history.
So this one goes all the way back to 2016, an election that we all remember, but maybe a candidate that we don't.
North Carolina shows Donald Trump leading Hillary Clinton in a possible presidential matchup, but that's not the part that's grabbing people's attention today. It is the third-party candidate on that poll.
It's Carl Winslow.
Candidate named D's Nuts. Oh, no. Really? A candidate registered as an independent from Iowa has the legal name of D's Nuts. No. Public policy polling showed him pulling 9% of the vote in North Carolina.
Just imagine if Hillary had gotten half of that 9% that D's Nuts got.
Isn't that why would D's Nuts voters vote for Hillary? That's not. I don't think so.
It's a great point. It's a great point. D's Nuts knows what's going on. What were we going to say, Eric?
I was going to say, isn't that the percentage margin that he got there? Isn't that enough to allow him on the stage for the debates? Doesn't he qualify now?
It's only one state, so I think he would have had to get 9% in a majority of states.
Damn. He don't want to dox himself.
Oh my gosh. So let's remember D's Nuts and so much fun that we've all had today. Ellen the chat, but Project 2025 will force trans women to get abortions or something. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read 2025 yet. I'm going to start reading it to my kids at bedtime in early January so that we finish in time for the inauguration.
You're going to have like the Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool set up where you're sitting up there next to the bed.
It's not entirely wrong.
Bandits, that was based
so,
on?
As we always do the show here, when I do sign off in a moment or two, I'm going to use the highest dollar amount chat. We have two $15 chats. So I guess I'm going to have to read both of them unless one of you losers has $20 that you want to give us, or even $15.01. In any case, Eric, Dick, thank you guys for spending the day with me. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, man.
And Dick, let everybody know where they can find you in addition to Thursday night's crossover episode between the Dick Show and Who Are These Podcasts.
You can find me tonight on The Biggest Problem in the Universe, youtube.com/biggest problem, I think. I don't know. I'll be beating Vito with a Bible until he cries tonight, literally. You can find me on The Dick Show, patreon.com/The Dick Show. I'll probably do that one like open recording on Sunday. Open phone lines just for gloating purposes. We really got to lay into these liberals, really destroy all their hopes and their dreams, so they never try this shit again.
Do you think that if they had won, Dick, that they would be very mindful and very serene, and they'd be good sports about it? Do you think that there's a chance of that?
No, I think we'd all be in prison, right, if they won, or dead.
And Eric Nagel, obviously it's Eric Nagel. Let everybody know where they can find you.
It's Eric Nagel. You can find it on iHeartRadio, but it's also available Apple, Spotify, and then the live shows on YouTube and Twitch, all under It's Eric Nagel. You can find us there. And it was great to in some way finally meet Dick here. Like I've only heard his show and clip stuff through Carl. and then went and found I went through your whole back history with Maddox and all that, and how hilarious all that.
Oh yeah, he's melting down, and all the blocks are done on Twitter now, so I could see everything Maddox is doing and make fun of him constantly.
I know. I'm sure that our buddy Stuttering John is really handling the loss of blocks as well as we would expect him to.
Vito's on private now. He privated his account. It's like I don't know why these
Vito,
fucking guys
come on.
didn't understand how incognito worked or something. Big hissy fit they're throwing.
As for me, my personal podcast is the Blackcast, BLADTCAST. We'll be back here doing Who Are These Broadcasters Tuesday, November 19th, and it will feel great to be reunited with my pal Erik Zane. We'll be back on the 19th. Head over to whoarethese.com, find the phone number, leave us a voicemail. As we always say over here, if you're too poor to super chat, leave us a voicemail. We will absolutely play it. And as we said earlier, sign up for the Patreon, become a YouTube member. You will get those bonus episodes like next Thursdays.
Yes, nobody was too poor because you had no voicemails. You got all super chats today.
We almost never get voicemails on this show. And it's because I said, please don't. I tried to really solicit them. I said, whatever you do, don't make fun of me. I don't like to be made fun of.
Enjoy your affordable super chats.
Right, exactly.
My life in jeopardy now.
If you remember, you can watch WATP record live. And as I said, tomorrow, Brian Johnson will be on. So do all that. That is all the time we have for now. As always, I'm Christian Blatt, reminding you that every mic is a hot mic. Just remember over the next 4 years as you're... Oh, I got to put it up on the screen, dummy. Just remember over the next 4 years as you're in your car paying less than $2 for gas going to work, where you have job security, because you're not competing with illegals or DEI tards, that Trump just really sucks. I think I read that like Seth Meyers did. And also unite as a country or eat my stink hole for the next 4 years. You choose, America.
Choose.